So this is the story of a man, a wise old man, who lived in a beautiful house by the lake, in the beautiful hills, and he had an amazing life. And one day, he won a Ferrari. Nothing bad in that. So things became more awesome. But this man thought differently. He was not like regular people. He wouldn't get attached to material things so easily. When he won a Ferrari, his friends and family came and they congratulated him. They said, "Wow, isn't that so fortunate that you won a Ferrari, a beautiful red Ferrari?" And he smiled and he said, "Yeah, so be it." That's all he said. So be it. And he had an interesting way of seeing life. He wouldn't get carried away with his emotions, with things that seem happy or sad. For him, it was all constant. It was all the isness of the moment for this guy. So one day when he was driving his amazing Ferrari, guess what happened? He met an accident. The Ferrari crashed, and it was basically zero value after that accident. It was a piece of garbage, and on top of that, he had to be admitted to the hospital. He broke his leg, and he was on the bed rest. He couldn't move or anything. He was in the bed, and his friends and family came, and they said, "Oh, that is so unfortunate that you won that Ferrari. Because of that Ferrari, you're in the hospital bed today." Not just unhealthy, but he had bills to pay, the medical expenses to pay as well. So if you see overall, from a regular person's mind, it would be a misfortune that he won a Ferrari, right? Because he won it, and now he doesn't have Ferrari anymore because he met an accident within a few days, and now he's in the hospital. So it turned out to be more expensive for him in the long run to have the Ferrari. And people said, "So unfortunate." People said, "So unfortunate." And he looked at them, he smiled, and he said, "So be it." And next morning he woke up. He got a message. Someone told him that last night there was a landslide and his house is completely demolished. It's broken down, it's destroyed, and it was really fortunate that he was not in the house but in the hospital. And because of the reason why he was because he was in the hospital, he didn't die. He's still alive. So friends and family came again, and they said, "Oh, it's so fortunate that you won that car and you met an accident and now you're in the hospital. If you were doing your regular routine and if you were at home like any other day, you wouldn't have been with us. So fortunate that you won the car." And he looked at them and he smiled and he said one more time, "So be it." So the point here is that being too happy with something and being too sad with an experience, they both are extremes. They both are not good feelings. Yes, everyone should be happy in their life whenever they achieve their tiny little goals or however big their goals are, and they should appreciate and give a pat on the back to themselves on the achievement. But the problem happens when we get attached so much to the little emotions and things and even relationships. When we attach too much of our ourselves, the real selves, to these things, we tend to lose touch with our real self. And this, by the way, is from Eckhart Tolle. He's an amazing guy, I think, in my opinion. I watched his interview and I was reading this book, The Power of Now. And there's another book called A New Earth by the same person. I wish I can meet this guy in person someday and really get to chat with him, Eckhart Tolle. And this story that I told was published in his book. So, great takeaway here. I think it's a beautiful thing that I learned from this guy is to not attach myself even to the bad news, or good news. Nothing is good or bad at the end. It's how we perceive it, right? It's our perception of what has happened makes it good or bad. We can always use the so be it formula to not really take things personally. It's really hard. It's not very easy if you think, because again, we've been for years we haven't practiced this idea, and now suddenly you cannot have this idea wired in you out of nowhere. So I thought it was a nice little perspective to share. And the other thing was that brain is basically a tool, and it is a tool that we can use to create wealth, health, social life, or whatever you want to create, because brain has some great powers: memory, logic, analysis, and organizing. All of the things you can do from brain. And well, human beings have achieved so many things. They can put a man on the moon because of this brain. So it's a nice tool to have, but the problem comes when the brain becomes the master and we become its slave. That's where the main problem is, because that's when we start thinking in terms of things and emotions and not through our soul. And now again, I don't want to go deep into spirituality because I don't understand those things yet, but I'm pursuing those knowledge, those areas, because they interest me. I want to know more about how we function, how this life functions. I mean, it's just not me. There's a lot of people out there who've been trying to solve this mystery for years, and I'm just a new student in that. So yeah, thoughts have a magnetic pull for sure, and all we can do is that we can disconnect ourselves with the thoughts sometimes and be in the moment and start appreciating what is now. That was the whole point of the book, The Power of Now. Start appreciating the present. A lot of the times, this is an ongoing thing, by the way. We take birth, we're supposed to go to the school, and then we're looking forward for next thing. What is the next thing? What is the next thing? Oh, college. Let's get through the college. Let's graduate. Yes, we're graduate now. Now get married. Now get settled. Now have kids. Now raise the kids. Now get them married. And now what? Now get the pension, retire, and then die at the end. So we're always thinking of what's to come and thinking less of what is here. We should sometimes take a second to appreciate what is right now and just be in that moment. That was the whole point. That's all. Neither the past nor the future, neither of these two things should be able to govern our emotions. The true self comes out of you in the truest form of expression when you are in the present moment. I have experienced those things partly when I have meditated, or maybe when I'm singing and I'm lost in a song while playing the guitar, or maybe when I'm on the stage, when I've performed a few times. I've reached that point where I am not a physical thing anymore. I am just out there, free. Those moments are the moments we live for. and we should never let go of that. That's all. That's all. Cheers.